Ready? Alright. Hello, Uncle Doug. This is going to be the first workout video that we're going to get to. It may not go in this order, but this is the first we're going to be able to get to. Okay? So basically I want to explain to you how working out happens. You never want to do multiple large groups together. So if I'm doing my chest for bench press, I don't want to do squats the same day, because your body's going to be pulling from the same nutrients and vitamins to replenish both. So stick to one. You won't be as sore the next day. Everything will be better. So today I'm going to show you a few simple stretches with your lower body. Okay? We may throw in the shoulders with it too. I'm going to explain this to you. You do legs with shoulders. That's a small group with a large group. Then later on we're going to get to chest with bicep. Okay? Small group, large group. Then later on we're going to do your back with your tricep. Okay? It's all just large groups with small groups. That way the small ones don't interfere with you trying to do the larger group exercise. Okay? So basically today it's going to be shoulders and legs. And I'm going to show you a simple stretch to start off, because if you don't limber up before the exercise, you run a risk of pulling a muscle. And I've done that before and it's not fun. But I just want to make sure that we're being safe while working out. So first of all, and you don't have to do it immediately like Bruce Lee would, where he can put his hands on the floor. All you have to do is work at your pace. And as long as you're stretching, doesn't matter. Just stretch whatever you can do. So we're going to take a deep breath in, all the way to the ceiling. And you don't have to do this, but I do this because it helps me to visualize breathing in. Okay, and it stretches you out. It stretches you all the way to the roof. And then from here, I'll turn so you can see, you're going to try and touch your feet. Now you go down slowly. Don't hurt yourself. Now if you're here, that's fine. Put your hands on your knees. Really feel the stretch in your calves and in the back. Okay? You really want to feel it. Okay? You can pull here. You really want to try and keep your back straight as possible. Okay? Some people do this, they're going to hurt themselves. Now, if you're being careful and that's the way your back naturally goes, I don't see a problem with it. But years ago when I started stretching for martial arts, they always said keep it straight. And now later on in life, I'm really noticing why. It really works better. And you don't feel like the blood is rushing to your head as much. So if you're here, that's fine. Really just stretch. Try and put something here. Because later on, that means you can just slightly slide down little and little. Okay? But if you're out here, only thing you see is the floor. So it's just an idea. Just keep it there. And eventually just try and work yourself down. And count about in and out. Probably about 5 seconds each. So about every time you exhale, try and move just a little bit further down. Okay? That's the first part of the stretch. This will work this part right here. Okay? Now, I don't want to hurt a camera angle, but I'm going to turn so I have more room. So once we're down, you want to, even if you have to bend your knees to get there, move outward. Okay? As far as you can, and try and get your heel on the ground. Get your heel on the ground with your palms. If you can't do that, sit on your knuckles, use your fingertips, whatever you got to do to make it comfortable. But eventually it wants to look like this. That's a really good stretch. You can do one foot, almost like you're running. You're doing a running workout, just like this. Later on you can pick a foot up, pick a foot up. See? Now, back to this angle. You are going to want to do something called a cobra in yoga. Now you can just sit yourself down, since it's your first time. Later on, you actually want to snake down to the ground and put your chin up. But that's a little more advanced. You don't have to do that right away. So if you're here, you can put your knees down, extend them out, and sit down. Then put your chin to the ceiling. If you have to do this, that's fine. But try to get a curve going on. That'll really stretch your back out, which will help you to not injure it. You really want to stretch your back out as many different ways as you can, so there's no possible way of you hurting something. So you're down and here. And just breathe. That'll help relax you. Then, however you want to get to your butt, it doesn't matter. You can swing your legs around. You can sit here, pick them up. Not important. Figure out what's comfortable for you. Put your legs out in front. Keep them flat. Just work on breathing. Let's get comfortable. Then maybe try to work down your legs a little bit. You don't have to touch toes right away. Not important. Just try to stretch a little. If you have to come back, breathe and go out. Hold it. Maybe come back. Okay? Bring one leg in now. Now you can do variations where you go like we started and then try to touch, or you can just however you need to do it. Have a deep count. Then switch to the other leg. Or okay. Then pull your legs together. It's called butterfly position. You can have them out at first, but later on you want to try and pull your feet together, bring them in, and then with your elbows on your calves, or some people can do it where they just push down, or they push, not one of them. So if you're here, you can use any of those ways to get your legs down. You just want to try and work them to the floor. And if it hurts, relax it a little bit. Don't hurt yourself. And just push. Just try and stretch it out. Now there are other ones. There are other ones where you put your legs further apart like this, and you stretch the same way you would like before, and you stretch, same thing. When you're starting out, I don't like this because it's awkward for your hip and it's awkward for the muscles on the inside, and you're also rotating your back. You could injure yourself. I haven't, because I started doing these when I was a kid, but I wouldn't press it first. I would first get this down and these and all that down before you try to move on to a stretch where you're now stretching down the middle and working on your hip flexibility. Worry about your back first, okay? Worry about that and your ribs and the larger groups, okay? So we've gone over that, and like I said, you can go down the middle, to the sides, any of that, but give it a little bit of time first. So then you want to go back to your stomach. You want to stretch up. We're going to add one called child pose, okay? You keep your feet planted, sit on your knees like this, and then all the way back. And you want to have your hands as far forward as possible so that you feel a stretch right in here and on your shoulders. And just look through your feet and relax. This stretches your hips out really well too. Then go back to cobra. Child pose. Cobra. And child pose. Now, cobra. This is called down dog. Same position we started with earlier. Really try to get those heels down, but don't force it. Maybe walk back a little bit. If you can't do that, when you're here, bring your feet to you and then stand up. Okay? Try to touch. If you can't do that, relax. And just get that stretch going. Okay? So we're here. Come up. Breathe out while taking a step with this foot that way. Bring your hands down. And now, if nothing else, you're at least relaxed. And don't rush through that. There's no time limit on a stretch. It's just something to do. To relax the muscles, to get the blood flowing. to make sure that nothing's going to get injured. So the slower you do it, the more flexible you'll be the next day, and the least chance you'll have of hurting yourself. Okay, so now we're going to get into the next part, which is going to be the legs. Now there's a bunch of stuff that you can do, okay, because let's face it, the legs are the biggest muscle group on your body. I know some people work out their arms, they work out their chest, and you got a big back sometimes if you do a lot of deadlifts, but the legs carry you. Your arms cannot have the muscular strength that your legs have. Okay, so I want to work on these first. Get to the other stuff later. So you can do things with weights, and you can do them without. So one of the things that I like to do is to stand, and from here I take a step out, just a comfortable one, nothing crazy like you're about to do Kung Fu, and nothing too little where you're going to lose your balance. Just right in the middle. From here, raise your heel, and very slowly, when you're getting used to it, try to touch the knee down. Don't slam your knee. I've done that. And back. This will now work out the back of this leg, the knee section here, and the quad right here. And just keep going. Do about 10. Do about 10, then switch it. Okay, do about 10. Now you can also do it like this. Notice the varying step. Left foot, right foot. Okay? Just another way to do it. Now another thing we can do, with or without these, and remember, you don't need that for that earlier exercise. You can just sit here and go and work on your balance. But when that becomes too easy, you pick up a weight. If that weight becomes too light, add more weight. Your legs can take it. So what we're going to do now is squat. Squat can hurt if you do it improperly. One thing is having your back over, not keeping it straight, which is why during stretching, the practice of straight back is beneficial for later on. It teaches you proper posture. So basically we're here. Have your feet a little wide, especially at first. Later on, closer, the harder. But at first, don't worry about that. Have it out relaxed. Either shoulder or a little bit wider than shoulder. Okay? So when you're here, you put your hands out as you go down. And just relax. Come back up. And if you go to here, that's fine. You don't have to get the 90-degree parallel. Okay? You don't have to do that. Just relax. Relax. If this is it, that's it. Don't force it. You'll hurt yourself. You just want to relax. You're working the muscle out. This is still working out. You don't have to worry about doing what you see on TV where the guys go touch the butt to the ground. A lot of those guys get injured. So just worry about form and breathing. Do about 10 to 20. Do a couple sets. Every time I say do 10 to 20, imagine that you're doing 20 repetitions. 10 to 20 repetitions, so that's 1 rep, 2 reps. Then you do something called a set. You can do 3 of these, okay? So if you do 3 of that together, if you do 10, that's 30 reps. If you do 20, that's now 60 reps. See how this turns into a pretty long workout, even with only a few exercises. You can add weights later on, where you can keep them down or up like this on your hip, and you just add weight to it now. Or, a little bit harder, with the weights. You gotta have balance to do this though. Don't jump into it head first. Take your time. And this will become a slight arm and shoulder workout too. And there you go. That's another exercise, okay? Here. Time for a second, brother. Thank you.